Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena, and in today's video we're going to be sewing up a vintage Burberry inspired garment. This is one of those pieces where the dress matches the lining of the coat. I really love those, and today I'm going to be making one in wool. So if you're interested in seeing how this project turns out, go ahead and like and subscribe. And now let's get into the materials and the patterns. Here are the materials, and the pattern I'll be using today is 4294. I have made this complete pattern before, but today I am just making the coat because I have a dress that I wanted to do a mashup with. So we're going to focus on the coat because I just recently made this dress in a full-length video. And here is the dress. I made this over the summer in a green cotton fabric. I really loved it, and I thought it would make a very nice winter fabric in this suiting material. And so because it's sleeveless, it needed a coat. So let's get started on the coat. This coat is a duster styled coat, so it does not button up the front, and it's very quick to make. So that's why I chose this pattern, because I've packed up quite a bit of my materials, and so I wanted to make something that I didn't think would require too many materials or require me to have to purchase some more. So I'm starting off with the darts. I am marking those in chalk. I purchased this wool from Fine Fabrics in Georgia, so a lot of people have been asking me where I am sourcing my materials now that Joann's is no longer an option. And so I've been going to Fine Fabrics, which is like a fabric warehouse in Georgia, and I'm able to get really quality fabrics at a pretty decent price. And because I can actually go there, there's no shipping involved, which I really like. So at the very last minute, I knew that I wanted to get some wool, and so I went a couple days ago to pick up some wool for this project. I did purchase the plaid fabric from here over the summer, and I bought enough, unsure of what I planned on doing with this fabric, but was hoping that whatever I did had some sort of like matching accessory of some sort. So I did purchase extra, but if I had to do it again, I probably would have ordered one extra yard. I was able to pattern match almost the entire project, focusing mainly on the center front of the dress because I knew I wanted to make a coat. The back lines up horizontally, not necessarily vertically, and I had to make that distinction between the bodice back and the skirt back simply because I was trying to save enough fabric to make sure that the coat lining matched as well. Now I am pinning the center back of the wool coat. Everything that I do to the coat, I've done to the lining. So I did sew that off camera because I was kind of in a hurry. If you've been following my Life During Divorce series over on Patreon, then you know that I am only at my house half of the time. So I wanted to get through this project as quick as possible because I have the most sewing space when I'm in my studio. If you're interested in seeing my life behind the scenes as I adjust to this new period in my life, then definitely check us out over on Patreon. I would love the support, and I would enjoy having you over there. It's a really nice place for me to kind of like unpack my thoughts as I transition into this new phase of adulthood. So yeah, I am sewing down the center back at 5/8 seam allowance. This was actually a really quick piece to make. I was able to sew it up in like 2 days. So yeah, that was really good for a fully lined coat. Sewing with wool tip. In order to get our seams nice and flat, I use a piece of cotton and then a lot of steam, and I steam that seam open, and then quickly I put my wooden clapper down to lock the steam in and really hold that seam in place. If you don't do this step, and mind you, you don't necessarily need a clapper, you just need something to trap in the heat. If you do not do this step, then your seams will never lay flat, and it will always kind of look unfinished in a way. Yeah, so that's how you do that. And so once I'm done with that, I am moving on to the front of the coat where I do the shoulder darts. I was thinking of this outfit like a good transitional piece from when it's like warmer fall to cooler winter. So the dress is sleeveless, and the wool coat is only 3/4 length sleeve, so I'm hoping that I can find some nice leather gloves that will go up past the sleeve, thus making it a lot more warm for me to wear, but also that if I'm indoors, it's comfortable to wear just a sleeveless dress, or early fall when it is not quite cold enough to wear the wool coat, but just perfect for the suiting dress. I think this might be a wool suiting or a cotton suiting, one of the two, because it didn't melt when I was ironing. So here I am prepping the pattern pieces for the pocket and pocket lining. I'm sewing those pieces together before I top stitch it onto the coat. I am not a huge fan of patch pockets, but they kind of work for this look, especially since I also intend to wear this outfit for traveling. I think the big pockets will help keep like my IDs, wallet, keys, things like that while I navigate an airport. These dusters and dress/coat combination patterns are some of my favorite to sew right now. I think they are very striking and versatile to have in my wardrobe, so I will definitely be revisiting this a lot this cool weather season. In fact, I have like a late 60s, early 70s version that I would like to make soon, and I'm really excited for that make because I found the main fabric from a local antique mall. So I think it's going to be a very groovy project, and I actually plan on starting this one right after this dress and coat has been completed, so definitely stay tuned for that, and let me know what your thoughts are on like these kind of coat dress combinations. Lately, I've been doing a lot of dress matches lining and not necessarily dress matches outer coat, so I probably should sprinkle in a couple more of those. But yeah, I'm having a whole lot of fun with this style of dress. So here I am just edge stitching the pocket on. Because the lining is in that plaid fabric, you want to get as close to the edge as possible so that way it doesn't show. Also, pressing the pocket really well will help with this because you don't want to see the bits of the plaid sticking out of the sides. But I really do like to have like a fun lining, even though you will never see it in this style of a pocket. Next, I move on to sewing up the side seams of the jacket front and jacket back, and so that's what I'm doing here at 5/8 seam allowance. There would be some interfacing on this coat. I did not put any in there because one, I was trying to save some of my resources as stated at the beginning of the video, but also this wool was kind of heavy that I realized that it would hold its shape just fine without having to interface it, and I only made that educated decision because I've already made the coat before in a lighter fabric and I did interface it, and comparing the rigidity of the interfaced version of the fabric and the wool all by itself, I felt like the wool was much more structured all on its own, so I didn't want to add any interfacing. But you might make a decision based off of the fabric you have. Now I'm clipping the curves on the underarm because there is no gusset on this, and then I go in and stay stitch that open so that way the extra stitching will give the underarm some strength for when I'm like opening, closing my arms. Once the front and the back of the coat is put together, I go in with the facings, and so I just sew that regularly 5/8 of an inch all the way around, and then there's two options for finishing this coat. You can do a top stitching option, which I did go with for this coat, but also you could have done like a braided trim to decorate the perimeter of the coat. I wanted to go as simple as possible because I knew that the dress underneath was going to be very bold, and the dress also has a scarf that I knew that would hang outside of the coat when it's closed. So I wanted to go as simple as possible, and I did the top stitch instead. I also really like the top stitching, not only because of its decorative nature, but its functional nature. It keeps the facing from rolling forward, so you don't understitch these, because if you were to understitch, you'd be able to see it when the coat is open. So I like that it's top stitched on top because it keeps everything nice and neat, especially when you get a good crisp press. So definitely invest in some sort of a clapper, a book, something to trap that steam in when you're ironing wool. Last and certainly not least, it's time to hand stitch in the lining. I only left in a bit of this footage, but it was created the same way that you do the outer coat. That's why I left that sewing off. This is what the coat looks like with the dress on. I tried my best to make sure that everything matched up well and looks aesthetically pleasing when it's open, since this does not have a closure. And this is what the coat looks like on just the dress form by itself, closed, so you can see the top stitching. And then I'm going to show a view of the lining. I have my signature embroidered on the lining, and here's the back, and I'm really proud with how things turned out. I'm very, very happy with this project. And now here's the reveal on me. It feels so glamorous. I paired it with a belt that I made in a previous video or project. It's a fabric covered belt, and the kit was from backroomfinds.com, and it just worked out in a way that I didn't have to make another belt for this project. And yeah, I put brown accessories, different shades of brown, but I think because of the plaid, it all works well together. And I would love to hear what you guys think about it down below, so leave me a comment and share your thoughts. Is this a project that you would want to take on? Have you made a coat / dress project? Let me know down below and share the patterns if you will. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment down below. If you would like to support my channel any further, you can leave me a virtual tip over on Ko-fi or become a bobbin over on Patreon. We would absolutely love to have you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.